Hello, beautiful people. It is I, Vemilo Evergreen here. Now, my pronouns are he, him, but if you got something juicy to tell me or you root me on, girl is an exception. And welcome back to another episode of Tea with V. All right, so we all know how we like to start on these episodes, which are, say it with me, chai topics. All right, let's get into it. Let's get right into it. All right, so first of all, my week was fabulous. I did nothing pretty much all week except house sit, plant sit, and dog sit. Liam and Franco, who are my beloved friends. I love them to death. They are amazing. Liam is part of the House of V. He does my videography work and all of that for my live shows and so on and so forth. He also is the co-editor and I would say even co-producer of my short film Lie to Me. So they are currently at Burning Man. They're probably back by now, but they're at Burning Man. Shout out to them. We love that. I hope they're safe and hydrating and so on and so forth. So they asked me to house sit. So I was very, very happy to. And here are the pictures of the dogs. Don't ask me what breed they are because I have no idea. But I'm more of a cat person. But these dogs and a few other dogs that I know are acceptable because they have cat-like behavior. Now, Willie, who is like the gray one, he's very moody, very emotional. And then the little one is Rue, who is a puppy and who is absolutely an angel and a sweetheart. She didn't mess up any of the furniture. She doesn't claw at anything. Plus they live on a beautiful piece of land, so they get to run around and all of that and so on and so forth. So, I mean, she only F's up the things that we like for dogs to F up, and that is their chew toys. Yes, please chew away. Just keep all that dog energy into the toys, not the furniture and all of that stuff. So, shout out to Liam and Franco. Thank you so much again for trusting me in your oasis, and shout out to the dogs who were well behaved sometimes, but you know how dogs protest when their owners leave and they leave a couple of things behind, but other than that they were not a problem. And I really just relaxed, ultimately relaxed, sat my caramel black ass down somewhere and just relaxed. I edited, the last episode of Tea with V and answered a couple of emails, but other than that, it was a pleasure. I did nothing except lay on the bed, lay on the couch, lay anywhere I could, even on the floor, and watched junk TV. Yes, Paternity Court. Oh yes, People's Court. Oh, and let's not forget Maury. Oh my goodness, yes, I'm guilty of that. But another thing I was watching also on Hulu is My Wife and Kids. That's such a fun comedy. If you haven't watched that, it's on Hulu. Go watch it. It's really funny. And I was just watching trash TV and just laying and luxuriating and relaxing. I took a lot of baths. They have this gorgeous, beautiful, big ass tub. And I was bath salting galore and watching movies and just relaxing and chilling and all of that good stuff. So again, all my love to you, Liam and Franco, and thank you for having me over. All right, so did you hear about poor Mississippi not being able to have drinking water? It is absolutely sad and really, really heart-wrenching. So I'm sending all my prayers and love to Mississippi because, it's really bad out here in these streets, you know, and people don't think global warming is real or the world is changing in terms of like the atmosphere and all of that stuff. Now, I'm a proud dyslexian, so I don't know everything that needs to be known about global warming, but I damn sure know I'm not dumb enough to know that it isn't real. It is 100% real. And what I'm hearing is that the community centers of Mississippi is, you know, giving away a lot of bottled water for free, because who's gonna pay for that when, you know. So yeah, so that's being taken care of. So I'm sending all of my hopes and loves to Mississippi, you know, during that really hard, difficult time. And I hope, you know, we get good, solid updates. But for the time being, it is not looking good. So make sure you're sending all your healing energy to them, because Mississippi is, is not having it. Another chai topic is Britney Spears. She's back at it again. She recently had, like I said in the last episode, she did a song with Elton John, which is doing really good on the charts. So pretty much Britney Spears posted a 21-minute video on her official YouTube channel regarding about more of her conservatorship, and she outright spilled her own tea. She did not want to go on any social media outlets or Oprah or interviews or Gayle King, none of that. She really wanted to just speak her truth and be like, listen, I'm a survivor of this, and when I tell you, if you listen to the audio, this girl has been working like a mule to the point where she could have died essentially. And she was talking more about how her relationship with her father is strained and not doing well, and he was controlling her, and a lot of people that he was, you know, giving directions towards were also controlling her. She couldn't, you know, have a phone that wasn't tapped. She couldn't answer emails. She couldn't go to the bathroom in peace. She couldn't do any of those things in peace. And her relationship with her mother is also not well, her sister. So she was just spilling a bunch of real life tea. And, you know, she is, you know, saying now that she is a survivor and that she is trying to move on past this. And she didn't mention that a book was being written. I think she was writing a book about it. So maybe we're still gonna get the book, or maybe she's like, you know what, I don't want to even bother writing everything down and whatnot. Let me just make a 21-minute video explaining my tea, and then, you know, keep it moving and living my life. So shout out to Britney Spears for, you know, speaking her truth and really using her platform for good. And the girl is not in danger. Sure, she had a meltdown, but everyone has a meltdown, you know. You know, it's very sad that sometimes family will value money more than their own flesh and blood. And you know, sometimes they always say blood is thicker than water. And, you know, at this point, and even in my life, and I assume in her life, you know, blood can be thick so much until it becomes a blood clot. And what happens when you have a blood clot? Your behind will die. So overall, sending love to you, Britney Spears. Thank you for speaking out. If you want to check out the full video, the link will be in description of all that tea, or you can look it up on YouTube and all of that, but information will be below. So I want to give a congratulations to Bad Bunny. Oh yes, oh yes. So he won Artist of the Year at the VMAs, and also too, he has been getting a lot of media attention because not only did he kiss his female dancer, which is boring, but yo, he done kissed his male dancer. Oh yes. Oh yes, now is that queer baiting? We don't know. Such as our last conversation that we had about Harry Styles. But in all seriousness, I'm so glad that Bad Bunny is open about his sexuality. Well, I'm not happy as an asset, because again, like I said in the last episode, it's really none of my business. But inquiring minds want to know, because Bad Bunny is what? Delicious, nutritious, and I'm about him. I think he is a talented artist. A lot of my coworkers and my girlfriends, Juliana, Cassandra, and Micah, they all blast Bad Bunny, and you know, they teach me a few things about him. So I love his music, and you know, he is just phenomenal. But I love it. I'm here for it. I wish I was the male dancer, as we all do, because he is fine. And congratulations, Bad Bunny, on winning Artist of the Year at the VMAs. So speaking of agreeing and disagreeing, as you may know or may not know, if you live in the state of New York, you recently heard that, you know, you are now able to carry a gun, you know, for protection. I'm actually pro being safe and whatnot. I don't mind. I personally won't be holding a gun because I just, you know, my outfits are too tight and they'll see, you know, the imprint of it. But, you know, trust me, I do believe in protecting yourself, and there's nothing wrong with protecting yourself. If women have, you know, tasers and whatnot, and people are getting attacked, and the world is just so crazy, just really tense and a lot of things are going on. People are slicing ankles underneath people's cars. So if you have the means to protect yourself, do so safely with common sense. But I just want to read you this this section exactly. So New York City will begin posting signs proclaiming Times Square as a gun-free zone, which I agree and also disagree. Well, you know, there's police there who have firearms, so I guess they'll be the ones to, you know, fire the guns if, God forbid, something crazy happens in Times Square, especially around New Year's. No wonder. That's why they're probably, because it's starting to get cold up in here in these streets, so they probably are doing this before New Year's. Because can you imagine if, I don't even want to say that, God forbid. It will be one of scores of sensitive places that would be off limits for guns under a new state law meant to address a Supreme Court decision expanding gun rights. Now, I believe in gun rights, but I believe in people with common sense, with smarts to have a gun. So, you know, let me know in the comments what your thoughts on this. I don't mind it. You know, it is what it is, but I think it's kind of extreme to a certain degree. Like, I'm on the fence and then I'm off the fence because it's very important to protect yourself, but people are crazy nowadays. And then remember the time when that gentleman had a firearm and he threw a smoke bomb in the train station, not the train station, but actually in the subway train, and started shooting up the joint and whatnot. Like, it's crazy out here. It is crazy out here. So all in all, I am wishing all the people well and safety and everybody making smart, rational decisions and all of that, because it is mayhem. Absolutely, utterly mayhem. All right, so we are now moving into my favorite segment. I have a lot of favorite segments, all right? This is my show. I produce it myself. Let me live. But you know what time it is. It is time to sip on some TikTok tea, baby. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to it. All right, so this first clip is about this really, really amazing, talented gentleman by the name of Brody Wellmaker, and he discusses the fact that he is going to take time from social media regarding, you know, what he's been through and so on and so forth. So roll the clip and then we'll talk.
Hi, this is going to be the last video that I post for a while, taking a break. So I thought I would share some wisdom to anybody that wants to be a creator. I've got 3 pieces of advice. 1, these platforms don't care about you, so be prepared to understand that. They don't care about you. The content that you create, the content that you consume, it's just there to make them money, and that's all they care about. 2, be careful who you work with. Just be careful who you work with. People will tell you that they believe in you. People will tell you that they want to see you succeed, but they just want from you. They just want to take from you. So be careful who you work with and choose your friends wisely. And lastly, take care of your mental health, okay? I would argue that your mental health needs more care than your physical health. There's no way in hell that we are designed to swipe our finger and laugh at a video, and then swipe our finger and watch someone's journey of dying from terminal cancer and spending their last few moments on earth and then cry with them, and then swipe our finger and then feel all fuzzy inside because of a cat video that we see, and then swipe our finger and then laugh at something and then swipe our finger and then cry. There's no way anybody in this entire world could convince me that this is like something that's normal and something that like is not going to affect us. So take care of yourself. Take care of your mental health. Talk to somebody. Go touch some grass. Read a book. Yeah. I'll be back though, and I'm okay. But I just thought I would share that. And I wish you all very well, and I'll be back soon.
Well, first of all, I agree with you. And second of all, you made so many good key points that I don't even know where to begin. People need to take consideration of how mental health plays into social media. There's a lot of emotional aspects to social media. Some are good and some are not so good. And I absolutely agree with you. You know, for me, I don't play around when it comes to my mental health. I just don't. You know, I don't have time for that. Our minds are really important. I cannot stress that enough. And we forget that because the way that we conceptualize all of that we're taking in and what we're consuming, everything is an ad, everything is, production, everything is this, that, and the third. I absolutely really encourage everybody to take a social media break. Social media is not going anywhere, clearly. Hello, brands are getting behind this and all of that. So social media is not going anywhere. But the one thing that can go is your self-esteem, your confidence, your reassurance, and your damn well mental health. So I encourage everybody to take a moment off of social media. Now, the practices that I do, because I don't play these games, the second that I know that social media is starting to get onto me is when it's just like when I'm endlessly scrolling and I'm not getting satisfaction, but I'm not like it's just starting to take over. You know what I mean? It's hard to explain. I use a metaphor as in the second it starts tapping on the back of my spine, I need to cut it out, and I delete the apps. I don't delete my account, but I delete the apps off my phone. Obviously, I make an announcement saying, hey, I'm going to be gone for 2 months off of social media for our mental health. I encourage y'all to do the same. I will be back. If you're not able to reach me, text me or message me on Messenger, Facebook Messenger, which apparently a lot of people don't use anymore. I'm the old one, so don't judge me. And I make a post and I delete that app and I keep it pushing, because I'm not about to have this run my life. Well, not, I love T with V, but you know what I mean, is social media running your life and all of this. And it's just, I work too damn hard to know that I have peace, that I have clarity, that I have, the mental capacity in order to do that. So shout out to Brody for making this decision. Obviously, he's going to be back because he loves making content. Obviously, I always come back because I love making content, and take notes from him, because if you want to be a content creator, you got to be sure that your mental health comes first more than anything, because if it's not right up here, then you're going to start saying crazy stuff on here, and that's not cute. So our next video is by a therapist named Jeff, but in this video, he lists 9 normal things that don't have to be red flags when it comes to relationships. So roll the clip.
9 completely normal things that don't have to be red flags in relationships. 1, holding a special place in your heart for an ex because some of those exes were really important to you. 2, being attracted to someone outside your relationship because you don't magically stop thinking hot people aren't hot. 3, doubting the relationship every now and then because relationships suck sometimes. 4, fighting about the same thing over and over again because every relationship has perpetual fights that never go away. 5, sleeping in different rooms because have you tried that lately? It's amazing. 6, wanting to go on vacation without your partner because sometimes you need some effing space. Am I right? 7, going to relationship therapy because we all need a tune-up. 8, having mismatched libidos because it's very rare that you both want to do it at the same time every time. 9, not being transparent about every single thing because oversharing is real and a little privacy never killed anyone.
Hello. Yes, Jeff, I absolutely agree with you. Now, one of the things that I absolutely agree is still having love for your exes in a way of not, still like being in love with them, but knowing that, they served an important part of your life and you don't want to get, I'm still friends with most of my exes today, some, not all, but I'm just not in a space where I would ever talk ill against my ex. I would probably mention some of the things that were not so nice, but I'm not going to say, he's a piece of crap or whatnot, because I wouldn't get to that place. Some things just die out, or people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, and some of those experiences were seasonal things, and I don't find nothing wrong with somebody, still having, feelings about their ex and what they've been through and how influential they may have been, and for me, I absolutely agree. So I love the list, and I think it's important and natural, if you ask me. So this final clip is by Maddie Hartz, and she discussed the story and the history behind silly bands. So roll the clip.
Remember when silly bands were all the rage? They're just shaped silicone rubber bands. They were originally created in 2002 by Passkey Designs. They made them cute animal shapes so that people would stop just throwing away rubber bands all the time and they would actually reuse them. Robert Croak, who worked for BCP Imports, saw the bands and decided that he should try marketing them as a toy and accessory. And BCP Imports distributed these Livestrong bracelets, remember? Silly bands were first sold online in November of 2008. In 2009, they started being sold at Learning Express. There were so many different kinds and categories of silly bands, including SpongeBob, Hello Kitty, Justin Bieber, and even the Kardashians got in on this. I even remember the tiny ones that were rings. In 2010, they were in 8,000 US stores, and people ended up with huge collections of rubber bands. I had a whole baggie of them. In September of 2010, they were even part of the Quiznos Little Meals. There were a ton of knockoff brands, including Googly Bands, Zany Bands, Cool Bands, many more. In 2011, they came out with a Nintendo DS and iPhone game. I honestly have no idea how this would work. People would collect and trade them, and they were actually banned in several schools because they caused such a huge distraction and even injuries. Now, they may not be all the rage anymore, but you can still buy them online.
Okay, so I actually was a silly band fanatic. Now, I didn't know that silly bands was actually meant to see how many people you slept with or whatnot. Like, I guess it was some sexual innuendo or whatnot. You know me, I was still playing with Barbies in middle school, so I had no business, having sex and understanding, the situation behind that. But what I do remember is that back in the day when silly bands became like this monumental thing that blew up, the only silly band that I wanted, and I don't know why, but I was trying to find who had it or who I could trade with. And I believe Jason Diamond, you used to have this. Shout out to Jason Diamond and the Diamond family and Dino's Pizza. He had this silly band that was in the shape of a jaguar. And I don't know why I wanted it so bad, but we ended up trading for something. And eventually I was able to get that silly band. I actually still have my silly bands to this day. They should bring them back. Who would want to have silly bands come back? I know I do. But overall, I'm down with the silly bands for the right reasons, and to each his own. All right, so one of my favorite things about this show is that I get to do one of my favorite things, and that is to answer some of your questions and concerns, or if you just need a little bit of advice from moi. So, of course, this is Ask V. Let's get to it. All right, so I have your question right here. Hey V, my name is Jeremy. I am 25. Oh, 97. Okay, I see you. I'm 25 years old, and I'm currently in a dilemma. I've been dating a guy for almost a year who I love very much, but he clearly doesn't have any motivation to work on his future. It's starting to weigh on my spirit. I try to uplift him and encourage him to find things that spark his interest, but nothing seems to stick. So the question I have for you is, should I work through this relationship, or is it time for me to move on? See, you're young. You're my age. You're 25. And I don't know how long you've been in a relationship with this fella, but if you tried everything in the books, I think it's time for you to move on. Because, like I said, you're 25. It seems that you are a very passionate, loving person. You're doing something with your life. And clearly, if the gentleman that you're dating does not have any of those qualities that are especially not meeting your needs. Now, granted, at least I assume the brother has a job, otherwise you shouldn't be dating a person without a job at all, in my opinion. But I would move on. I think it's time for you to give this relationship a rest. If you've done everything you could to spark some type of interest, if you've done everything you could to inspire the man in some way or another and he's not taking it, then I think it's time for you to move on. But also too, you got to remember, you can't be in a relationship planning to fix somebody or planning to persuade somebody or planning to do anything regarding them changing their ways. Now, what you can do is influence and inspire, but they have to be the ones willing to make the effort to do that. And clearly, if homeboy is not making the effort to do that, then you need to leave. You need to go, say sayonara, and again, you're 25. So you'll find somebody who has an in-depth mindset, and yeah, those guys can be fulfilling. But if you want to stay and stick it out, that's up to you, boo. But for me, I've been there, done that. I'm good. I ain't staying for nobody who's not willing to get themselves right. But I wanted to shout out a Facebook friend of mine by the name of Nick Faust. Shout out to you, Nick. Thank you so much for recommending this movie, As Above, So Below. Listen, I haven't watched a good scary movie, and this is really, really good. It gives me Mummy vibes. It gives me Paranormal Activity vibes. And I quite enjoyed myself watching this movie. Now, I was watching this movie while I was luxuriating in the bathtub. And when I tell you this movie is good, it is good, okay? I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, if you like to watch scary movies and be thrilled and spooked and whatnot, this is a good movie that I would suggest watching. So shout out to you, Nick. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right, so we're moving right along to none other than a simple, dimple show and tell. I have some items that I want to show you, so let's just get right into it. So I don't know if you don't know, or if you do know, if you're living in the Connecticut or in the Lakeville area, but Vemilo, have an article right in the Lakeville Journal. So I'm so happy. Shout out to Cynthia. Cynthia, thank you so much for interviewing me for the Lakeville Journal. I am immensely grateful and appreciative. Also, shout out to a good woman in my life, which is Stephanie and her husband, Frank, who have been such a monumental people in my life. I credit them in the article. This is a very tasteful size article that I don't want to read right in this moment because we are bowling on time. But what I can say is that it's a lengthy moment. You see this? This is a moment. There I am right there. Right there, my little album cover that I did by thyself. Look at God. So I'm in the newspaper. So I'm going to save this and hang it in my office because, you know, moments like these are absolutely monumental. When I went to Cumberland Farms, I asked the girl, do you guys sell newspapers? And I'm like, well, which newspaper? I'm like, the old school ones, the ones that open up really, really big. And she was like, they're in the back. Because I haven't seen somebody holding a newspaper like this in a tasteful minute. But, yeah, there I am in the Lakeville Journal. So if you see me in a robot outfit with my album cover name Immigrant, which shout out is out now, link in description will be below. Yeah, so that was a really cool moment. I'm so grateful. So grateful. So if you may or may not know, you know, I love to go out, you know, I love to connect with the people, make appearances, connect to the community. And this is a simple thing I like to call Vemilo, out and about. Oh yes. So I had the pleasure of going to a play that I haven't gone to a play in a tasteful minute. Shout out if you love plays. Let me know in the comments if you like to go to a play. I know I love to go to a play. So I went to the Sharon Playhouse, go see Sheer Madness. It is a hilarious play. And like I said, it's at the Sharon Playhouse. It was so fun, so good. I remember seeing this play when I went to Washington, D.C. You know, when you do the 8th grade field trip to go to Washington, D.C. to see all that. I love me Washington, D.C. But shout out to Michael Baldwin. His sister was my 3rd grade teacher, Mrs. Conklin now. But back then she was Mrs. Baldwin. And I remember, Michael, you were the first openly gay person that I've ever met at that age, and you just had this warm, vibrant, fun spirit. I definitely remember that you had you had blonde highlights in your hair. I'll never forget that. And I remember you were reading the class a book. I don't remember what the book was, but you owned that play. Your character was absolutely amazing. Your ability to just be so in it and so present is absolutely inspiring and monumental, and everybody else in the cast did a terrific job. And you were sweating up, you weren't sweating, okay, you were glistening, okay, that's how hard you worked in that role. So shout out to you, Michael. You've always been a fun, inspirational person in the back of my oasis, and I thoroughly appreciate you. And thank you for shouting me out with the article in the newspaper, which was funny because I didn't even know the article was out until you pointed it out. So shout out to you, and you are killing it. Also, shout out to my brother, Ronnie Reed. This gentleman right here, yes, we're related. He is my brother. A lot of people don't think that we're related, but we are, and that is my brother. I just wanted to give you a quick congratulations for landing a part in the new upcoming play, also at the Sharon Playhouse, Raisin in the Sun. I'm so excited for you, but I'm also extremely nervous for you. I don't know why. Well, I know why, because this is your first play, as far as I remember. Yes, congratulations to my brother Ronnie for scoring this. I cannot wait to see you and see how this all plays out. And we got to catch up and get a drink sometime. So to close out in today's episode, we have to go with the quote of the week is by Joan Lundeen. All right. Holding on to anger, resentment, and hurt only gives you tense muscles, a headache, and a sore jaw from clenching your teeth. Forgiveness gives you back the laughter and the lightness in your life. And that was by Joan Lundeen. So in conclusion, I would like to thank all of you for tuning in today's episode of Tea with V. If you like what you see and you want to become a Vemizer, head over to my website, vemilomusic.com. Anything and everything about me is on there except my birth certificate or social security number. And also, if you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and share. And don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell on when you get news on how we upload. And please be safe, sanctified, and sanitary under these self-reflecting times. And of course, I will catch you all in the next Tea with V. All right. Ciao. Mwah.